everybody. I'm Andy Lightbody from Rocky Mountain Television, high in the mountains of Colorado. But today we're down in Texas in the Oklahoma area with really what many consider to be a legendary cat fisherman, Mr. Danny King. Danny, thanks for taking the time, and I guess in the next half hour to an hour, we're going to tell everybody all of your secrets, or at least a good portion of them.
We're going to tell them a few of them.
Danny, you are legendary. I mean, you've won the ACATS tournaments. You're really, if not nationally renowned, world renowned in terms of your ability to be able to find the big catfish, get on them boated, and making it look pretty simple. Tell us a little bit about how you got started in the world of catfishing and why people are going to be very interested in what you've got to say today.
Well, I started catfishing in Vernon, Texas back when, I was just a knee-high kid. My grandfather, Clifton King, and my father, Wilburn King, would take us, me and my oldest brother, out, and they'd cut us a little old pole out of a salt cedar, which is like a tree, and put us a little line on it. And we got to go to a place called First Rock Crossing. And they'd let us sit down there and hold these poles and fish with these little old poles. Of course, we catch perch, carp, and catfish. And our catfish was our source of food to us and our sport. Mm-hmm. And over the period of years, well, catfishing got to be better and bigger in our hometown. And us boys just go with the family, go fishing until we got older, and we started experimenting with baits and stuff. And
I was going to say, you're not only renowned as a leading champion when it comes to catfishing, but pretty also renowned for a thing called Danny King's Catfish Punch Bait. Is that your idea?
Yes, sir. It was me and my youngest brother Mike King's idea when he was a knot-headed kid. I wasn't at 16. Mm-hmm. And we messed with this recipe to where we got it at today, and started putting it on the market and going places and talking to people. Nearly everywhere we'd go, we'd find out people wanted to fish with it. And of course, we was catfishermen, so we wanted something to stay on in swift water, smell bad, and catch fish. Mm-hmm. I mean,
and those secret ingredients for catching big catfish, right?
Well, we keep everything secret. Some people try to figure it, but that's all right with us. We go right on about our business, fishing with it. And we used to come to Texhoma, I don't know, once a year, twice a year, and people would see us using this bait and catching these big old blue catfish and channel cat, and what do you got? And just by word of mouth and talking to people, getting around with the catfishing bait business took off. Our experience on catching big fish is over a long period of time. It's something that doesn't happen overnight. You don't go out there and just say, I'm going to be a catfisherman today, and you got all the answers in 6 months. You're talking nearly 58 years experience of nothing but mainly targeting catfish. Now, I've caught crappie, and I've caught bass and stripers, but my priority is to go after the big blue.
That's your passion.
That's my passion to go. I catch a lot of channel cat, but folks, when you get that big blue on that pole and that thing's laid over and the battle is on, don't mean you always get him out.
We've got a gentleman with us today, Randy, who's, I guess you've told me he's a pretty good channel cat fisherman, but is this going to be one of his first experience in really going after the big blues?
Yes, sir. This is his first experience. Randy's a good channel catfisherman. I met him about a year and a half ago at Mount Pleasant, and he told me to come up here and told me how much bad luck he had and everything. And I said, Randy, you got to know how to target fish. You got to know how to find them in the spring, summer, fall, and winter. I said, winter's the best. So today, actually, we have a greenhorn on the boat, and my job is today, and I hope I can get him tied into a big fish to let him see what it's like. Channel catfishing is great, folks. It's great. But catching that big blue,
that gets your heart.
Oh, you got to, man, you get it. So everybody in the boat does, because first you got them on, then you got to get them in the boat, and they do battle.
What are we gonna tell the people today? I mean, if they're going to continue to watch this video with you, what are we going to cover? We're going to cover different types of waters, different types of habitat, different techniques and tactics for getting into them, specialized equipment. How are we going to do all this?
Well, you're going to see us target water turkeys or Conrads or whatever you want to call them, geese, pelican. You're going to see us bump some shallow water against deep. When I say I'm talking about you're coming from 14 foot to 1 foot, we're going to be on kind of a slope. We're going to target the weedy areas where it's real weedy and maybe a foot, 2 foot of water. We're going to go out there and try to put a little chum out, and we're going to work all this together. We're going to watch the water turkeys on the water and everything. You're going to see everything I know what to do in winter to catch winter blue cat.
And this is just the first of a series of these DVDs that you're going to want to produce, because it is different at fishing in the spring and then in the summertime, right?
Oh, all different, all different. And you don't have to have a boat to catch them, folks. This time of year, from November on into March, I'd rather be on the bank and head out of a boat.
Really?
You just got to learn how to pick your areas and go into them.
And then we'll talk about the type of equipment, the lines, the rods, the reels, things like that as well.
Right, right. I use a 7 foot medium heavy Danny King rod I've designed myself. I use an Ambassador RX60 trophy reel. I use a Penn's reel. I also use the Kelvar Eagle Claw pole, 7'6". It's a new one that I'm trying out for Eagle Claw. I really like it, and that's pretty hard to say. It's 6 inches longer than mine. We use 20-pound test Suffolk's titanium line and 20-pound test Suffolk Siege. You'll see different colors of the line I used. So it doesn't help the fish bite better, it just helps you to see it better.
Whichever your eye can pick up on.
Right,
Huh?
because sometimes these fish will barely move that pole, or if they lay a little slack or ease, you know where they're there. A lot of big fish this time of year ease against it and just sit there. We're going to use 1.5 ounce no-roll sinker. We're going to use the Eagle Claw bronze hook from size 2 to 1/0. We will jump to some 2/0, but most time this year we use 1s and 1/0.
Okay, so we're going to cover the equipment, where you find them, what their habitat is, all of those different things, and of course, I have a funny feeling we'll probably be fishing pretty well with the punch bait, huh?
We're going to be using Danny King's punch bait. Now, folks, I'll use anything, but I'm telling you, I'm one of these old boys from the old school. You got to show me before you make me believe it.
Well, on that happy note, if people would like where to find that punch bait, we can tell them it's at various outlets, different bait stores and marinas, Walmart.
Gander Mountains, Walmart, Bass Pro. I don't know where all they're putting it now. Nearly any mom and pop bait shop's got it. If you can't find it and you want to get Danny King's products or stuff, just go to www.dannykingbait.com on the web page and pull it up. We'll be more than happy to talk to you, help you any way we can.
And obviously get them headed in the right direction for the right equipment as well.
Oh, yes, sir. We try to help people. I have people call me a lot, say, Danny, I was fishing for the fish in the spring of the year and I've lost them. Where did they go? You know, of course, Teddy's going to the rocks to spawn. We're here to help people.
Good. Yeah, and that's the purpose of this particular video.
Well,
on that happy note, everybody, Danny King is going to join us. We'll see you out on the water because we're going fishing with the King.
we're chumming this in. What we're doing, folks, is we're making a little trail to come in here. We're going to tie up to this pipe and try it a little later. But we're just trailing it in, so anything comes up through this little narrow channel is going to come right in here on top of us. That's what you call pulling them in to get not having to burn a lot of gas run all over the lake. And this is horse and mule sweet feed, 18% with black molasses and stuff in it. Man, that's like giving candy to a kid. They can't say no to it. Now, I'll lower this sack here in a minute, and we're going to put two different types out. We're going to put some range cubes out. I'll show you in a minute, which lasts a day or two. Then I'm going to get a little hair lip with this. I'm going to make a bigger string because I want the fish to scatter out so they'll find something to eat. We're going to be tied up this after a while. We're going to catch some fish. You can bet on that. You got to do this a lot in the summer. You don't see it done much in the winter. I got my good buddy Randy Bishop down here with us. And Randy's he does a lot of channel cat fishing. He's a real good channel cat man. We're going to see if we can break him in on some real good blues. I'm going to put my majority of this in here. We're going to make another circle here in just a minute. And we're going to keep just a little dab of this because I got a honey hole over there that I fish quite a bit. And I say I'm going to keep a little bit of it. You know how us catfishermen are. A little dab will do you, while a whole lot's a lot better. So we're just going to make another little circle in here. I don't know if I can keep a little bit or not. I'm telling you right now, guys, I haven't been on Texoma in a while, and it is this lake here, folks. This fish is not uncommon, and that fish that big is not uncommon. And the world record come out of here a couple of years ago. Now these are range cubes. See how bigger they are? They'll last a lot longer. They'll last for 3 or 4 hours. Cooler weather like this, a day or two. We're just going to scatter some of these out, just like you're feeding a bunch of chickens. So we may want to come back here tomorrow or something, and we're just going to scatter some out all over. People are afraid to spend a nickel or two to catch that big fish. Well, I'm not. My wife tells me I spend too much fishing, and I tell her she spends too much on QVC. I don't know if you know it or not, but this is a thrill for me. I'm like a little kid because I love this lake. I love any lake that's got big blues in it. You talking about catching some fish. Now we're not going to set up here and fish. We're going on to another spot. Give this a little time to crank up. We're going to see if we can put old Randy on a big blue. Most of all, we're going to see if we can put old Danny on one. Right on around, Randy, just like you're going right back. We'll go right back out the way, just like you come in, just kind of angle out through that way. And we're going to we had some pretty rough weather yesterday. The wind was blowing real hard, and we didn't get out here. But today we got some pretty days, and we're going to let that set. Now we're going to move on. We're shooting a little narrow channel. This is where the Ouachita runs into Lake Texoma. We're going to shoot a little narrow channel and get out here in the lake. I'm going to take you to a spot, folks, where I've caught a lot of 20, 30, 40-pound fish. Whether we catch them or not, we don't know, but at least we're not on our jobs. We're out here fishing. He's hunting shad, and he's hunting shad. He's got a few little lines out, and they use a lot of shad down here to catch catfish with. It's a natural bait for the fish. It's a natural feed for them. And they come out and are having a little hard trouble this time of year finding shad, but They throw them nets, I think in 7, 8, 10 foot. And they use these to catch their shad with. He lets that goes down to nearly the bottom of the bottom, and they catch shad from 2 to 3 inches to 5 inches, and then they use them shad to put on their lines to fish with. Sometimes they cut them, sometimes they use them whole. You know, they just they put them on the jug lines, the limb lines, and on the rod and reels, and I've used a lot of them myself. A lot of stripers, catfish caught on them. It's just a natural bait. It's something they eat every day, just like you do light bread. You can find marinas around here that has frozen shad. You can find marinas that has shad in pint jars that are pickled. But if you'll notice, a lot of these old-time fishermen, such as this man is, everybody wants fresh bait. You know, everybody wants fresh bait, and they all got their different little tricks. Some fillet them, some of them cut them whole, some of them just use the heads of them. They're more universal. They need to know. You just got to go in here, folks, and look in this thing and try every trick you know till you find out what they're hitting. Small shad, big bait, little bait, and go from there. We're going to do something different. Mother Nature, fall of the year. Here, Randy has went out and picked up a bunch of clams. I had some stuff to tend to. When I say clams, I'm talking about mussels that lays in the mud along the edge of the bank. It's one of Mother Nature's natural foods. And we have peeled them, and I'm going to reach in here